Today I'm talking about the journey that Albie has taken towards being able to crawl. The first stage that we recognized that we were going towards crawling was when he was able to lift his head in this prone position. Clearly all motor skills are linked, but this is the first one where it's obvious that he's starting to crawl. In that we're able to lift his head up when he's lying over the top of this lazy Susan, and we've got him into what looks like a crawling position. He's got leg straps on at the back there, so that's just to hold his hips together from splaying out too much. We put some of that audio so you could hear the wet cough that took him to hospital a lot in the early stages. We were very excited in January then because he can hold this position for a second. Strong enough to hold his own body weight up on slightly bent arms for a second. So that was pretty cool. Back in January when he was 14 months, actually 12 months corrected because he was 2 months premature. This video here where he's lying on top of me, we've moved on and we've been practicing that hand press up position, and we're now able to hold that a little bit longer, pretty much as long as he wants. He's now 18 months or 16 months corrected, and it's in May. But you can see he does tire pretty quickly here as well. So the reason I've got this long video here is to show the feedback that I get off him. By having him on my chest, I can feel when he is ready to come back up again. So I think that he's ready here, but then he lies back down again. It's really good to get that feedback from his body because you can feel his muscles getting ready to work. By stroking and patting, I'm just simulating the back of the body to see if that's going to help him at all. I gave him something to look at by using my hands there before. And now he's about ready to go. I can feel that. So up we come, a little bit of assistance, and he's happy to get up there. Unfortunately, Mariella was really happy to get up and walk around on the crown jewels at the same time, but you've got to deal with these things as you go. And clearly you got a little bit too much for him there as well. We're moving on then. And I've got the audio in here as well so you can hear him babbling away, how happy he is to be trying to 4-point kneel and to crawl. We're starting to get him to change the weight distribution from one hand to the other. It's not an easy thing for him to shift his weight across. So that was a bit of a challenge to start with. Clearly you can look at that little head, or that big head on that little neck. It's a lot of work to lift that thing up. But if we keep it fun and exciting and try and keep him focused on the job at hand, then we do sometimes get some results. But he's not too steady. Down he goes. I kept the audio here as well because he doesn't like falling down.
Up you go, sweetheart. Oh, darling boy.
But what's brilliant about Albie is that his determination brings him right back up again.
Yeah.
Happy to get back into it. Happy to keep playing. Tied and up. And chatting.
Yay!
This is his way of showing how happy he is in a moment. He gets a little bit shaky and overexcited. And that takes the energy away from being able to hold his neck up. But up he comes of his own accord. Just didn't manage to work it out that time. I've got him in the Pilates studio. I've reorganized some of the equipment on my Cadillac so that it fits his size and his weight. So this sling is giving him a sprung support, and it means that my hands can be free to be helping at the front and at the back with legs and arms at the same time without having to support his body weight too much. You can see that he's doing a two-legged leg extension, so trying to throw the body forward using both legs at the same time. It's a much simpler movement than doing a separate leg and the opposite arm at the same time. So it's the kind of movement that the body wants to do because it gets a quicker result without having to employ too much brain power. So we've got to try and control that and get him to grow out of that more gross movement and to be a little bit more refined. Again, that head becomes heavy. but he's up and chatting. Put something in his mouth and you have a bite, he's always happy to do that. Dog carrying sling. Cheaply bought on the internet. It's designed to lift an old dog up into the back of the car, and I've wrapped the straps around my shoulders, which allows me to get quite close to him, but again has my hands free to work front and back of the body. This particular morning he was tired and he didn't want to play, but we practice with that a lot. And here we've got him onto a standing position for me, and it means that I can use my feet to guide his hands and his legs in the correct pattern of movement. I didn't even touch him there. That was just a wave of the foot that got him to move forward. So slowly he's moving forwards in the correct pattern. It's always good to have something worthwhile to go towards. And 4 or 5 steps is about his limit. This then is the end result. We are now in July, end of July into August. We've gone from January to August, and now the boy's crawling on his own. I would love to see him extend his hips a little bit more to take a bit more pressure into the front of the hip flexors. So he's staying quite flexed at the hip, but he's absolutely moving on his own. A little bit of a rest with a cute smile, and then he gets going again. And you would think that at the end of all this hard work, you should get a bit of a reward, but I'm afraid not. He gets a bit overexcited. But trust me, no children were hurt in the making of this video.